Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody, dear friends and colleagues. It's really an honor to join you today for the opening of this important dialogue held actually on for the great significance of the International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples. This is indeed not just a commemorative day, it's a call to remembrance and a call to respect and to action. This day argues to, urges us to recognize and uplift the knowledge, systems, and values and rights of indigenous people. Indigenous people are communities who have lived in deep harmony with nature for generations and whose very ways of life offer indispensable guidance for the environmental challenges that we are facing today. So today's dialogue is actually framed around a profound opportunity, which is to bring together the moral and spiritual voices of faith communities with the experiential wisdom of indigenous peoples and local communities. And the purpose is to reimagine our collective relationship with nature. And this comes as part of our efforts to contribute to the implementation of the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. But such a framework can only succeed if it is built upon the full range of values that people assign to nature, not only economic or instrumental values, but also spiritual, relational, and cultural ones. The IPBES value assessment, which stimulates our gathering today, reminds us that the dominant worldview that treats nature as a commodity to be extracted and traded has played a major role in driving the biodiversity crisis we face today. In contrast, indigenous peoples see nature as kin, as sacred, as alive. Likewise, across the world's religions, we find teachings that elevate our responsibilities toward creation, not as owners, but as stewards. Faith traditions have always shaped how we see the world and our place within it. They frame our values, inform our ethics, and move our communities toward collective action. From the Quranic concept of al-mizan, the balance in all creation, to the biblical notion of stewardship, to the teachings of the compassion in Buddhism, and the emphasis on interdependence in many indigenous cosmologies, we see a convergence of wisdom that places care for the earth at the heart of the sacred. And we must be clear, this is not just a moral imperative, it is also a political and governance challenge. The Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, with its emphasis on equity, rights-based approaches, and inclusive governance, provides the structure. But it is faith-based organizations and indigenous peoples who bring the heart, the values, relationships, and worldviews that can make the structure meaningful and durable. Last year's historic decision at CBD COP16, some of you were there, to establish a permanent subsidiary body for indigenous peoples and local communities under Article 8J, that makes a major step forward in integrating these voices into global biodiversity governance. But this must be just the beginning. It's not the end, it's not the goal. The road to CBD COP17, however, in 2026 must be paved with authentic collaboration, co-creation, and respect. This dialogue is a step on that road, and we are gathered here not simply to speak, but to listen across cultures and traditions and spiritual lineages. The draft statement that we will begin to shape together is more than a declaration. It is an offering. It is an act of shared commitment that draws from the deepest sources of meaning in our respective traditions. The transformation we seek cannot be achieved by policy alone. We need a shift in consciousness, a shift in values, a recognition that the future of biodiversity is not just a scientific or economic matter. It is a spiritual and cultural choice. We need to work together with faith leaders, indigenous elders, youth, policymakers, and activists as we forge pathways towards a future where all life is honored and where the multilateral system truly reflects the pluralism of our planet. I hope today's dialogue plants sustainable seeds that will grow into sustained collaboration, ethical leadership, and shared action for biodiversity and justice now and for future generations. Thank you very much.